Good afternoon, Your Excellency, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, Dr. Ebele Goodluck Jonathan, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Governor of Bayelsa State, and Senator Dixon, the Chairman of this great occasion, my good friend, Dr. Emmanuel Duagan, very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am most delighted to welcome you all to this ceremony, which is the unveiling of the plaque that marks the official opening of the Azaiki Public Library here in Yenagua, the capital of Bayelsa State. I was born and raised in this town. Today, the landscape and skyline of Yenagua are remarkably different from the profile of the city just over a decade or so ago. With the capital city and other towns in the state undergoing rapid transformation, so too are the economic fortunes of our great people. But these positive changes do not erase from my memory the pain of the challenges of growing up in this town, with extreme difficulty in accessing books, not just for academic knowledge, but books and other reading materials that would expose one to the rest of this world. I needed to throw myself into this project because I'm living the words of John Dewey. Education is not the preparation for life. Education is life itself. Albert Pike was right when he said, "What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains with us, and they are ever immortal." In intervening years, I have had the exceptional benefit and privilege of studying, living and working elsewhere in the world. In this odyssey, I have always been fascinated by the pride of place accorded to public libraries, especially in the developed countries of the world. This fascination stirred up in me a burning desire to replicate the idea of a public library back in my hometown, my home state, and of course in my country, and in the process give back to our community and society. Here I wish to remind us of what Muhammad Ali said. He said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." I agree with Elie Wiesel that when a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. The library project that is being commissioned today is the result of an effort that has lasted over 10 years. In addition to my personal resources, the Azaiki Foundation, under whose auspices the library has been established, receives support from well-meaning individuals, international organizations and publishers, whose books, donations have helped in no small measure in boosting the library's collections. I would therefore like to use this opportunity to express the profound gratitude of the Azaiki Foundation to our numerous benefactors of this library. To my wife and children, I thank you for your support. I'm sorry I gave you a burden far bigger than I imagined. My happiness today is that you all are happy who made this great effort in building this library. Again, it was Zig Ziglar who said, "Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you have even more to express gratitude for." Let me say this here and now. Everything you need for a better future and success has already been written. And guess what? All you have to do is go to a library. In addition to printed books, periodicals, and journals in various disciplines, the library has audiovisual facilities to access information stored in CDs, cassettes, videotapes, and DVDs. Again, let me quote Norman Cousins. "A library is the delivery room for the bag of ideas, a place where history comes to life." Perhaps the icing on the cake is that patrons of this library can read digital materials including 30 million e-books as well as electronic newspapers using PCs installed in this library. My justification came from the words of Ray Bradbury. Without libraries, what have we? We have no past, and of course we have no future. Your Excellencies, Mr. President, very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is true, as Caesar Chavez said, we cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about the progress and prosperity of our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others, for their sakes and for our own. We live an information-driven world. Today, as part of its changing fortunes, Bayelsa State is host to a number of tertiary institutions. We have the Federal University at the Toke, established by Mr. President himself. We have the Niger Delta University, established by the Bayelsa State government. In fact, the Bayelsa State government has already established the University of Education. We have the law school. Of course, we have a lot of tertiary institutions here. Now, it is our hope that this library, through its collection, will support research by faculty members and students in the higher institutions within our immediate environment. In particular, the library is the launch pad for the new Institute of Science and Technology in Agua, which recently signed a memorandum of understanding with several foreign universities to run a joint degree program in systems engineering, related technical and management courses that will no doubt accelerate the capacity development of our people. This will validate what Nelson Mandela said: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And also I agree with Malcolm Forbes that education purpose is the replacing of an empty mind with an open mind. It is my belief that a library accessible to the public is a veritable center that can help build a community of readers. Reading boosts knowledge, which in turn aids education. Invariably, aside from the economics of a public library, which will assist in lessening the burden on parents purchasing books and various reading materials for their wards, I am confident that as the public library becomes an attractive place for meaningful congregation and exchange of ideas, the new environment, as well as the motivation it creates, can help in tackling numerous social problems often directly traceable to idleness among our young persons. Instead of ending up our drinking joints and growing pot bellies because they have nowhere else to go, young persons with access to a well-stocked library will soon discover that it is preferable to feed their brains during their spare time than damaging their health through other unsavory habits. This reminds me of what Maya Angelou said, and she said, "My mother said I must always be intolerant of ignorance, but understanding of illiteracy." That of course some people unable to go to school were more educated and more intelligent than even some college professors. I say this because it is truism that recreation does not consist only of physical activities such as playing a game or soccer, tennis or other sports. A library does provide an avenue for recreation through the use of art forms and literature. At this junction, let me add that integral to this library complex is the Museum of African Art, which sits on the top floor of this building. The museum has a section dedicated to creative forms of work of the Niger Delta people, their culture, their tradition, and their way of life. I do wholeheartedly agree with Hans Heckel that museums are managers of consciousness. They give us an interpretation of history, of how to view the world and locate ourselves in it. They are, if you want to put it in positive terms, great educational institutions. If you want to put it in a negative term, they are propaganda machines. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the library projects whose commissioning we are witnessing today bears testimony to the fact that working together, we can make things happen, even in our local, very local communities. Among his many quotable quotes, Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "The earth, the air, the land, and water are not inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children. So we must have to hand over to them, at least as we are handed over to us children." This library and all components, parts are handover notes to future generations, as we expect them to attain a height higher than we attain in this our lifetime. To our young people, our youths, let us remember the word of Martin Luther King. A function of education is to teach one to think intensively, to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the good of true education. Again, it was Aristotle who said the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit, or as you may say, the result, is very, very sweet. Today we celebrate unity of purpose. We celebrate friendship and community. And more compelling, we celebrate our president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR. We celebrate a man who left these backwaters of the Niger Delta, Otueke, and by dint of hard work and persevering, and by the grace of Almighty God, rose to become #1 citizen of this country. 20 years ago, Your Excellency, no one from this region, even in Nigeria, can ever imagine that we will produce a president. Today is no more a dream. You are the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So to our dear president, let me quote from Prince Lombardi. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that, whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. Again, it was Colin Powell, American general, who said, a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. And you got that in you, Mr. President. Today, this institution, the Institute of Science and Award, on behalf of the institutes and the Azaiki Public Library, for your commitment, service to Nigeria, for services yet to come. When Barack Obama won the Nobel Prize, the world was at him. What has he done to merit the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize? And the chairman of the Peace Prize said, this award is given to Obama for encouragement and for service yet to come. Today we will agree that Obama actually has merited that Nobel Peace Prize. So one of the prizes we are giving to you, one of the reasons we are giving you this prize is for your consistency and support for democracy and peace, not only in Nigeria, but we know your efforts in Liberia, in Burundi, in Mali, in Chad, in several countries of Africa, where you have made input into their stability and peace. It was Dwight Eisenhower, former American president, one-time American president, who said, this world of ours must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and instead should be a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Mr. President, the decision you have taken to continue to serve must be encouraged and must be sustained, and we support you for your future endeavors. This is what President Barack Obama said, the future rewards those who press on. I don't have time to complain, I am going to press on. That should be your motto. Again, sir, the words of Mahatma Gandhi is true. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Let me salute our governor, Henry Seriake Dixon, countryman governor, for the support he has given to us as an institute and as a library, especially the support you, Governor Dixon, has given to President Goodluck Jonathan. You did a great job in rallying the donations, the Niger Delta people, and indeed Nigeria to support Dr. Goodluck Jonathan and democracy. Dr. Dixon, you did very well, and you have done well. So now, I call on all of us from Bayelsa State and the Ijaw Nation to bury our differences and support Governor Seriake Dixon so that we will benefit from the dividend of democracy, and so that we will have a peaceful, democratic, progressive state. We must always remember the great words of Korea. Every successful individual knows that his or her achievement depends on a community of persons working together as a group. According to Douglas Adams, he said, to give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. Your Excellency, Mr. President, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the Ijaw Nation, let me quote from Franklin Roosevelt. He said, the point in history at which we stand is full of promise and danger. The world will either move forward toward unity and widely shared prosperity, or it will move apart. My dear brothers and sisters, no battle is lost. We kept the name Ijaw, meaning truth. It was Frederick Douglass who said this many years ago, and it sounds true today in our life. He said, a battle lost or won is easily described, understood, and appreciated. But the moral growth of a nation requires reflection, as well as observation to appreciate it. This is what the late Ethiopian leader Haile Selassie said. We must become bigger than we have been. We must be more courageous, greater in spirit, lighter in love. We must become members of a rare and new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owing our ultimate allegiance not to nations, but to our fellow men within the human community. Let me also quote for the purpose of this gathering what Muhammad Ali Jinnah said. He said, I say to our people, my message to you all is of hope, courage, and confidence. Let us mobilize our resources in a systematic, organized way, tackle the grave issues that confront us with green determination and discipline, worthy of a great nation that we are. Mr. President, as you officially commissioned this complex today, we solicit for a presidential intervention at Davos Institute of Science and Technology. Your Excellency, we appeal that you direct the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Ecological Fund, and the Office of the Special Advisor to Niger Delta to support the establishment of the School of Environment and Niger Delta Study